I imagine a lot of people are thinking, okay, it took Greg, this long to get to where he's at, or it took 3 to 4 years to build 80% of the progress. Could you have got that 80% within 2 years or 2.5 years if you hovered around 12 to 15% at a more conducive body fat to building rather than being 8 to 10% all the time? And then I don't know how many people would have the patience for this, but staying not fat, but not aesthetic as fuck for 2 to 3 years in order to eventually get to your aesthetic, where you want to be in a shorter time frame. Would that be something that you thought would have worked?
Yeah, I have a long-winded answer for this. The first thing I'll say is that I have to be pretty objective. Is there a faster way to do it? The reality is, and people ask me, how long does it take to build your physique? How long does it take this? You might never get there. That's the reality. How many of your friends do you know that freaking go to the gym and incline press 130-pound dumbbells? The reality is, the idea of looking for the shorter path, it's a good thing to do, but you have to be realistic, where some people will never hit a certain level. And if you're always trying to find, the shorter path, it's at the end of the day, I freaking love the fitness journey. I love training. I love figuring things out, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't. But that's the pill people are gonna have to swallow, where I've built up to doing, 315 for 6-7 reps on bench with lower ab veins and stuff. Some people genetically will never, ever get there. I would love to tell them with my program, anyone can rep 315, for 6 reps chiseled. Not everyone can do that. I definitely know I have, very good genetics for that. But as far as, my belief is that if your goal is to look as good as possible at 8% body fat, there's no benefit for deviating more than 2 to 3% from that. So if you have to get to 12 to 15% body fat to gain muscle, then to cut down to 8%, you're better off just staying at 10%, 10, 11. Deviating too far from that, it can throw things off, because then you have to spend time cutting. If you hit a really solid bench press or incline bench press, when you have an extra 8 to 10 pounds of body fat, it's a different lift when you get rid of that fat. It feels different. If you look at, Olympic level gymnasts, yes, they're doing more body weight stuff, but they develop and build their strength without having to put on fat. They build extremely high levels of strength. And resistance is resistance, whether, you're doing a lat pull down or pulling yourself up with one arm or doing handstand push-ups or shoulder pressing 100-pound dumbbells. Resistance is resistance, and they're able to build strength without having to put on 15, 20 pounds of body fat. So I think that if the end goal is to be as strong as possible, yeah, it might make sense to kind of get up to 12 to 15%, and then you can eat a lot more, recover better. But if the goal is just to be as sharp as possible, I think it's counterproductive to do a deliberate bulk. And I haven't seen it. I don't know. It's hard to say. But I just haven't seen it work out that well. Not really with naturals. You always kind of end up wasting your time. I've had a client that got hyper chiseled on my program, got pretty damn strong, and then got caught up in doing a big bulk up to 210, 215. And end of the day, he cut back right to where he was before with the freaking same strength.